And most of the time, the challenge is not really to overcome what other people say about us women. Sometimes our greatest enemy is actually ourselves. Sometimes it is us who creates our own barriers. So, our next guest will help us dive into creating possibilities and paving the way for opportunities. Let us all welcome the co founder of Connected Women, Miss Gina Romero.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here and happy Women's Month to you all. This has been an amazing event. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the International Women's Day theme, which is actually Choose to Challenge. And I would like to challenge all of you, now having listened to the inspiring talks that you've already heard, I want you to think bigger. So one of the things that I've experienced in working with women entrepreneurs for the last 15 years is that women tend to really shrink their dreams down, especially when they want to start something up of their own. I've worked with women who have come from huge corporate backgrounds, where they've managed teams, where they've run huge events, they've managed programs, they've done so many things in their career. And then when they go to start something on their own as a businesswoman or a business owner, they suddenly shrink that ambition down. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what might cause you to be thinking small and how you can really start to think bigger in your business. So these brands, a collection of all different brands here from different industries, different countries, from different parts of the world, but what do they all have in common? Think about it for a moment. When you look at these different brands, you recognize them? I'll tell you what they have in common. They all started somewhere. Now that, to me, I think is one of the biggest secrets to success that a lot of people overlook most of the time. If you don't get started, you're not ever going to get to the place where you reach your dream. So think about this. These guys, many of them had humble beginnings or challenging beginnings, but somehow they pushed through. And thinking bigger doesn't necessarily mean that you have to build an empire. Sometimes it can be something different to that. So those of you who know me, my mom was actually a domestic worker. She came from a small town in Porak, Pampanga. And when she was in her early 20s, she looked out of the window at their humble barrio in her humble home. And she had started working as a cleaner in one of the American families at the air base. And when she saw these families and what they had in the air base, she thought to herself, there's something more out there. And I want to be part of that. I want something more for myself and for my family. Now, the audacity of a 5-foot-tall Filipino woman from Porac, Pampanga, aspiring to think and dream this big, right? But that's what she did. So she went through the process of going overseas to moving to a country that she'd never been to before and became a domestic worker in the UK, one of the pioneering batches of domestic workers that went overseas. And I think that that is extremely courageous. Now, I don't know about you, but I know so many women like my mom, people who have taken the step, taken the leap into the unknown, filled themselves with entrepreneurial spirit and courage and just gone for it. And if my mom can do it, and if all of these people do it, then any one of us can do it. So despite my mom's early beginnings, she challenged herself to think bigger. And remember, the one thing that often stops us from thinking bigger is ourselves. So here are my top 5 tips for thinking bigger. The first tip, as I mentioned earlier, is really believing that you can. No one is going to stop you other than yourself. So if you believe you can, then other people will believe you can. If you believe you can, you're much more likely to take the steps and be courageous. So just start by believing in yourself first and squash those negative voices in your head or those negative voices externally that may be very well-meaning and want to protect you, but they tell you that you shouldn't do it or that it would be a crazy thing to do, or you shouldn't take that step because it's risky. Forget the negative voices and focus on the positive voice that's driving you, because that is the voice that will actually get you started. And that leads me to my next tip. Think big, but start small. I know that I have a terrible habit of overwhelming myself with my own vision. I have an idea and the idea gets bigger and I want to do so much, but in reality, it's not possible to do that much. So shrink down the idea and just start small. And that's how we grew Connected Women. We started small. And learn to love technology, because if anything I've learned, and if anything I'm sure we've all learned in the last year, is that you cannot escape technology in this day and age. So learn to love it. Don't just learn to use it, learn to love it. And like all relationships, staying in love and being in love takes effort. It's a choice that you make every day. And you'll find that if you embrace tech, you will be able to learn it and adapt it, and it will help you in your business. And you also want to join a community. Surround yourself with people that will lift you up and really make sure that they're a catalyst to get you to the next step. And I say that like a good bra, you need people that will support you, uplift you, but never hold you back. So join Connected Women if you're looking for inspiration, or find a community that suits you. And finally, you cannot do anything alone. So look for partners that will really support you and take you to the next level. Business partners are so important. And if you don't find the right partners, you won't be able to grow. So think bigger through partnerships. And I'll leave you with this quote by the painter Camille Pissarro. She said, "Blessed are those who see beautiful things in humble places where other people see nothing." And I think that's a really beautiful quote, because big things come from the place that you may not have ever imagined it. You just need that imagination, that courage, and that vision, and that self-belief to take you there. And I think that this image is really a testament to her words. So keep on dreaming. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Miss Gina Romero. Thank you for that. You gave such a practical set of tips on how women can actually start a business. And you know, a challenge for many women is they're scared of other women. I'll be honest with you. Um, there's a culture among women that women are competitive with each other. They're threatened with each other, or stereotypes that women, there's crab mentality among women, that women can be catty. And so Connected Women clearly wants to change that stereotype of women not being able to be in a safe space with an organized group of women, Gina.
Yeah, I think that unfortunately, it's circumstances that make us like this, right? Like sometimes when you've been brought up in in an environment where people have behaved like that towards you, it kind of creates that negative cycle of behavior. And so I think that, you know, unfortunately, it really can be dog eat dog out there, you know, like a lot of very competitive environments that we sometimes are exposed to. But I think at the end of the day, things are changing. I do see a shift in general in society. I think technology making us more connected is giving us more empathy towards each other. And a good friend of mine, you know, she says that the negativity that we hear is actually really, really small. It's just unfortunately been amplified to sound so much bigger. But most people that you meet, you know, all around the world, women and men, are actually genuinely quite kind people that want to help each other. It's in our human nature. So just steer away from those negative people, because they will always be out there, but you don't need to be around them. And I think getting away from them is the best, my best advice.
Yeah. You said joining a community is very important for an entrepreneur. What would you say is the biggest achievement of Connected Women? Can you give me a case study of a small business who joined Connected Women and you believe became a much bigger business after joining your community?
Gosh, well, we have so many. I mean, we've had 3,000 women now participate in a program that we have with Facebook, which is all about using Facebook and Instagram tools to grow your business. And, you know, some of these ladies, they come in and they only have a dream. They haven't even got started. Because sometimes it's not even about building the biggest business. It's about women who have been sitting on a dream for their whole lives, you know, and
I
they've
so
never
agree with
acted on
that.
it.
Actually, starting is so hard.
Yeah, just getting started. And I think for us, it's all about that. We really focus on getting people started because, it's really tragic. If you've had a dream for so long, and I meet these women all the time in my, in my events and everything, and they'll come up to me after a talk like this and they'll say, I'm so inspired. I've always wanted to start my own business. And they'll have so many reasons why they haven't done it or they can't do it. They're too old, they don't have enough money, they don't have the right skills. There's so many reasons, and these are really valid and real reasons why it's difficult to get started. But actually, if you take away all those reasons and you just start with something, it's all you need. Once you get started, everything else can come. So it's the hardest step for sure.
Okay, you said my last question is choose the best partners. And this is where actually it's important, it's practical, but it could be the key also to genuine success. We also know that sometimes when you choose the wrong partner, I mean, you can really fail, right? I mean, you're talking about financial losses. How important is that? And how can you detect what you call a best partner?
So partners, I mean, in the sense of either your business partner, so your co-founders and people that will run the business with you, but I also mean that in the sense of the people, the collaborators that you have in your business. So they could be other business owners that you can sort of strategically align with, or they could be your major partners. Like we partnered with UN Women, and that was a big catalyst to launching our flagship program. I mean, like any business person, I've been through bad partnerships that didn't work out, and and it stings, and it makes you feel a little bit anxious about partnering up again. But I think inevitably you're going to have some bad partnerships, and that's how you learn how to choose the best ones next time. But I think the most important thing is be picky, and only align yourself with people that share your values and your vision.
All right. Gina, my last question, can anybody join Connected Women? Or do you have a set of criteria?
We have no criteria. We're just looking for women who are looking to start something new, looking to transition, or just want to do something more with their lives, and are looking for support and encouragement and that little push to get started.
Yeah, who knows? That could be me.
It
Okay.
could be you.
All right. Gina Romero, thank you so much. Excellent, excellent. And God bless you for all the work that you do. Bravo, bravo. Thank you, Gina Romero.
Thank you.
That could be me too, Karen and Gina. Thank you for sharing your stories, Gina Romero. I'm sure that our viewers are feeling really motivated right now.